Good morning, Trina.
Good morning, Captain Whitaker.
Here's your manifest with 102 souls on board.
Let's get them tucked in. We're ready to push.
Hello, welcome to Premier Scene. I'm Claire Bueno. As Back to the Future director Robert Zemeckis has us travelling first class with his new film, Flight.
We are in a dive.
I have no control on my side.
We going down?
Everybody embrace positions. How you feeling, Whip? Looked like you pulled some kind of move up there, man. You saved a lot of lives.
I see nothing but houses!
Evan, listen to me. Trim us nose down.
I wondered, watching the film, whether Whip's self-destruction comes from a state of loneliness.
Well, one could say that, or his self-destruction has created a state of loneliness, you know.
One particular scene that stands out to me was when he's in the hospital and he's carrying this weight of such responsibility. And I just wondered mentally how, because you carried it off so convincingly, how you mentally got to that place.
Well, you know, the great thing about this film is it was a great script to begin with. So it wasn't a stretch. All I had to do was follow the words, and it was all there on the page.
And do you feel that this necessarily isn't a story of redemption, but actually being accountable for your actions?
Both. Yeah, absolutely.
And the other thing that's...
I thought that, actually, I remember talking to Bob about this, I thought he should have got more time. Because actually manslaughter is about 20 to life. So for each count, he should have gotten a minimum of 20 years. That was the one thing I disagreed with the filmmakers about. You know, I think he got 4 or 5 years. He should have got 100. You agree? Yeah, I see you shaking your head. Yeah, he should have got 100 years. I mean, those folks are never coming back.
No, that's very, very true. And I believe...
We'll go back and redo it.
Well, it was a wonderful film to watch. And how did you worked very closely, I believe, as well with the screenwriter, didn't you?
Well, yeah, we all, you know, sat around the table for a week or two before shooting, and Bob and John and myself. But it was on the page. I mean, it wasn't a whole lot we had to do. It was just, you know, tweaking things here and there.
Was it interesting for you to see how, because of his destructive nature, how even the most principled people around him actually did things against their principles because of the effect they had on them?
What do you mean?
Well, I'm thinking about here how you coerced people into doing things that, like the flight attendant when he spoke to her, and even down to his attorney, getting them to do things that they wouldn't necessarily.
Well, he's an alcoholic, so he's a manipulator. You know, he knows how to twist and turn and charm, and you know, he's used to getting his way. I think he was at one point a great individual, and just gone bad.
I'm on the list, baby girl. There's all kinds of crazy news people out here. You're a rock star, man. You will never pay for another drink as long as you live.
Captain Whitaker is a real American hero.
This is Hugh Lang. He's an attorney from Chicago. Why do we need a lawyer?
You don't remember having your blood drawn the night of the crash? You had alcohol in your system. That could be life in prison.
The crash scene is so emotionally charged. Does that, making that so powerful, does that accentuate Whip's character and his negligence, really?
Well, you know, yes. I mean, I think we had it had to set the tone for the film and sort of put everyone in the audience, have them understand that, you know, this is a life and death situation. Yeah.
And technically, how did you pull that off?
Well, we had a great team of people, you know, great technicians. They worked very hard, and they were able to. Everyone, you know, we planned these things out. Everyone rose to the occasion, and did their job, and it turned out great.
One of the themes that seems to thread throughout the film is God and providence. Could you speak a little bit more about that?
Yeah, well, you know, that's what happens when planes crash. You know, we start talking about, you know, we start talking about things like acts of God and why did these things happen, and there are things that happen that you can't explain, and so those are themes that obviously are in the film.
And may I touch as well briefly on Mr. Washington's performance, because it's phenomenal, isn't it? And does working with an actor of his caliber just make it easy for you as a director?
Oh, it makes it very easy, absolutely. Oh yeah, no, having a good actor, you know, there doing this, doing things that are better than you even imagine is always a joy.
The NTSB hearings in 10 days.
They're under the microscope right now.
Are you hiding something?
You gonna shoot me? Can I come inside?
Yeah, come on inside. I'll shoot you inside.
Now, on first appearances, both Nicole and Whip, they seem like a lethal concoction together, don't they? Would you agree?
They could be if they were following what Whip wants them to do, which is fly off to Jamaica in a plane and live a life of, debauchery. But she doesn't do that. She doesn't do that.
Do you think that self-preservation, rather, is what motivates her?
So you asked me that question.
Sorry, self-preservation. Do you think is that what motivates her?
Life. She's not going to make it. She'll die. She just nearly, she had an overdose. She's lucky to be alive, and I think it's a wake-up call for her.
What was? Can I just my last question? Sorry, what was interesting about the film is that his destructiveness creates everybody around him to go against their principles, and all these strong people. And really, your character, in appearance, is the weaker one, but she's the one actually with the strength to stand up to him, isn't she?
I love that you get that. I love it. I feel like the Brits have got this way more than anywhere else. I'm so excited to hear you say that, because that, for me, was her function in the movie. She's the only one in the movie who says, I'm worried about you. You need to get help. She is actually, the strongest one there.
This was an act of God.
Knows God would do this.
Our investigators concluded the aircraft failed.
The FAA placed 10 pilots in simulators, recreated the events. Every pilot killed everybody on board. You were the only one who could do it.
Well, what a wonderful screenplay to be a part of to start with, isn't it?
You get lucky every so often, like we did with this one.
Nominated for an Academy Award, as you know, and worthy of it, that's for sure.
I think what is so great about this film actually is that with a lot of Hollywood films, when we see the crash scene in the beginning, you would think that this is the journey to his getting better, Whip's getting better, but actually it's the start to his descent.
To him getting worse.
Yeah,
it goes a long way downhill before it comes back up.
That's right.
And I believe as well that this is a very personal journey for the screenwriter. Am I correct in saying that?
It is correct in saying he had a similar journey to Denzel when he was young, and came clean, became sober, and as he's talked about, and so he knows it's a very, personal, passionate piece for him.
He wrote it 9 years. He wrote the screenplay, so it's been something he's been with for a long, long time.
How did you both become a part of it then?
We're partners with the director. So when it came, when the script came to the director, to Bob Zemeckis, we are his producing partners, so we came along to produce the film.
And you're here on English soil, so I must ask you about obviously using an English actress as your lead lady.
Well,
we love her.
How interesting it is because of her Texas, Southern accent. Nobody knows that she's British. Like in America, they don't know Kelly Reilly and don't know. She's from England. She's from the Britain. So it's really astonishing. And it's wonderful how she got the role by just sending in. She just did a reading for the film and sent it to us. We looked at it, and all of a sudden, she was our gal.
It's a true Hollywood story. I mean, it doesn't happen this way all the time. She put herself on film. We saw it, and that became the bar, the standard for all others who were competing for the role. And every time we saw,
we said, well, she's not as good as Kelly.
Not as good as Kelly Reilly, and the studio knew of Kelly. And of course, studios want.
They want you to try everyone. No, but did you read her? Well, okay, and you read her. Not as good as Kelly.
Kelly Reilly. Not as good as Kelly Reilly.
So that was pretty.
Yeah, we love her. She's right there on the line.
Oh, there she is.
There she is.
She's a darling.
The wonderful thing about the film as well, it's an amazing soundtrack. Isn't there?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, both. Alan Silvestri, of course, Bob's longtime, composer. Once again, changed. Did something he's never done before with the kind of music he did, and it's very spare, just a guitar, a piano. And then Bob really selected most of the songs that appear in the movie himself, the blues songs and, the soul.
Beatles,
yeah,
Joe
and so,
Cocker,
and of course, the Rolling Stones. So, yeah, a lot of that was Bob, as he did in Forrest Gump, the wonderful songs in the soundtrack. He did again on Flight.
The other thing that really is lovely about the attention to detail in this film and the sound design, and there's a particular scene where there's a refrigerator switches on and it just changes the direction, doesn't it?
And Bob, once again, he's had a long time collaboration with Randy Tom, his sound designer, and they were very specific about it. He said, no, this has got to be like a head-turning sound. This is when you're there and you hear that and And the whole audience, I think, their breath stops. They thought we're going to be clean. The other refrigerator was
gonna
empty.
go down,
And all of a
everything's
sudden
gonna
you
be
go like
fine.
that, and now they go, uh-oh.
You saved my mom.
I want to talk about the days leading up to the accident.
This thing is so heavy it's killed me.
Well, that's it for a premiere scene for this evening as A Chilly Night Sky takes us to a very warm edit room. I'm Claire Bueno, and we'll see you next time.
I'm trying to save your life.
What life?
We're gonna start forever!
Wait for impact. No one could have landed that plane like I did.